Hello and welcome to another Surpass Community weekly update. My name is Tim Burnett. Today is the 19th of March 2021. I hope you're all safe and well. There's my email address just in case you need it. In this week's session we have a community update by CIDQ and NBCC who've joined the community. We have a research update about Open Dyslexia font and how it's been used with Surpass. We have a rumour alert about April Happy Hour. And also we have save the date information for the Surpass conference. So I'll see you all in 10 seconds. Hello, I hope you're all well. It's the 19th of March today. I hope you're all safe and happy. So in this week's Surpass Community Weekly Update, we are talking about lots of things to cover today, but I just want to remind you about a couple of new community members that have joined the community. So we've been talking about it a lot recently over the past couple of weeks. So we have the National Board for Certified Counsellors, and we also have the Council for Interior Design Qualification as well. And I'm just going to play you a quick clip from the conversations I've been having with them very recently. So over to them.
So last year, when we started the search, we were looking for an item bank which can accommodate our needs for that particular exam. And while we were discovering that with Surpass, we thought, why not all the programs? So now we are with you with all our programs for item banking. And it has certain back and forth between item writers and reviewers, then mentors. And we are so happy with the flow we have identified in Surpass, which allow them to talk to each other within the program and accommodate each other. So we are really happy with that.
I was actually looking on the Surpass website to gather some information on exam development, and happened across one of your podcasts, and got connected with a contact there, and Abby and Amanda, and so that kind of started the ball rolling. First two sections, the fundamentals and the professional, those are multiple choice exams. So those are the ones that we've transitioned to Surpass, and we'll really be using it for item banking. We'll be using it for item authoring. We have about 70 or so different volunteers that help us with our exam development. And then we'll also be using it to publish exams for delivery then with our test delivery vendor. So a couple of different ways that we'll be using that going forward.
So it's fantastic there to hear from Callie, Isba, and Cornelia. If you want more information about the new community members and any other stories that we've been publishing recently, Sam's very kindly put together as a bit of a news summary that's gone out as part of our executive summary for March. So if you've not received that email, then get in touch and we'll add you to the mailing list. And that contains lots of other information about latest features and other community activities. So please do check that out. Also this week we had a big webinar with Kat and Andy from the user research and accessibility teams, and we talked about user research and inclusive testing. As part of that, there was a big conversation about a new font, so Open Dyslexia font, which is awesome really. It's quite an intuitive little kind of feature that is going to help hopefully people who have dyslexia be able to read and kind of process information better. So first of all, let's hear them talking about what it is.
So just to reiterate what Kat said earlier, dyslexia doesn't mean it's you've got a lack of intelligence. It is just a difficulty reading words and understanding them. There's various different reasons behind that, but basically the open source font, it's open source, which basically means it's free for anybody to use. I think we've got a link to it further down the presentation.
Yeah,
to go and download.
OpenDyslexic.org. I think I've not actually put it in the presentation, but we will be sharing the slide deck afterwards, so we'll include it when we send those resources out.
Yep. as I said, anybody's able to go and download it and use it for yourself if you do suffer from dyslexia. And even if you don't, maybe go and have a look at it, and maybe you'll find it easy to use yourself. But the way it works is it increases the spaces between the words, and it also increases the weight at the bottom of a word, of a letter as well. So you can see there at the bottom of this slide, the bottom of the O and the bottom of the D are a lot deeper. And what the weight means is it basically just increases the thickness of the letter. And how that works is it allows somebody with dyslexia to be able to keep on the same line. So when we talk about people that suffer from dyslexia, the way it works for them sometimes is that the words are jumbled up on the screen, and they move around and things like that, and they lose where they are on the page. Having a font like Open Dyslexic, which the spacing of the letters and the words is a lot bigger and a lot more easy to read for them, really allows them to keep track of where they are in the content of the information that they're reading.
Now, as part of the presentation, the webinar that Kat, Andy and Ben presented, they did some polling of the guests that were watching. And initially, people's reactions were, it's a bit odd, it's a bit different. And I think we're all a bit like that when we see something new, something different, which is a bit strange. Ben even warned me ahead of it, saying, we're going to put use the font, it's not on brand. Are you okay with that? And I said, yeah, that's fine. Let's put it out there. Let's see what happens. Now, as the session went on, people gave their reactions as to when they heard the value that it has for people with dyslexia. So it actually improved people's perceptions. It was just quite a fascinating insight into how people perceive this kind of thing. We talked also about the user testing that took place of it. So here's Kat just to explain a bit more about the research that they've done.
There were kind of three elements of the research that we really wanted to measure. So one was reading speed. So we provided a randomized sample of two texts. One was in the Open Dyslexic font and one was in Calibri. And we asked the participants to silently read through the information provided to them. So part of that was for us to record the time it took for participants to read both texts. And we found that for the Open Dyslexic font, there was a 30% decrease in the time taken to read the text. So obviously, if you then translate that into an exam setting, the quicker the candidate is able to read and consume the content, the more valuable time they have then left to respond to the questions that you are asking them. So that felt like a really significant piece of data and information that could be used to help support any decisions made around what we do next. We also wanted to measure the readability. So this is kind of this is more indicative, but it's around how well did the participants understand what they had read once they'd read it. So we got them to summarize the text the extract that they'd read, and we found that there was a 50% increase in the readability of the Open Dyslexic font extract. And then the third one was around their kind of emotional response to the experience of going through that process of reading the two different texts. And again, we saw an uplift of 34% increase in the positive comments about the Open Dyslexic font. So it was a really, really interesting kind of indicative way of being able to look at the information provided by the participants of the study and understand what that kind of means in real term.
I find things like 30% decrease in the time taken to read a document using that font. I think that's absolutely fascinating. Finally, the guys just talked about what you can do as a community to help improve the situation. So how can we make a positive?
In terms of accessibility, Andy, how can people watching this right now have a positive impact on the testing industry in your experience? Now, for example, we've already mentioned things like color combos on screens and reducing cognitive load, but how might someone that is creating a test today do that? Is it as simple as considering the wording that they're using to write questions, for example?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you've got to take into account your audience that you're trying to deliver your test to. Now, there are things that you can do around like choice of words and things. The content of a question that you're asking to somebody, is there a way you can word that better that somebody that may suffer from dyslexia or some other learning difficulty may be able to digest that question a little bit easier? And that's not just for people with accessibility needs either. I mean, when I've taken tests in the past, I've sometimes thought, why have they worded it like that sort of thing? Well, if they'd worded it this way, it'd be much easier for me to understand. And I don't suffer from dyslexia.
That's sort of which of these is not the correct answer or not the wrong answer or something. And you think, well, why did you add that extra not in there? That's just, I don't need this right now. I'm doing an exam.
Yeah, and it's exactly that, and it's just about taking things into consideration. I guess think about who your audience is and the choice of words that you can use, and is the point that you're trying to get across easy to understand.
Okay, brilliant. So, Kat, is there anything that you want to ask before I start rounding up?
I think it's just to kind of highlight that the running theme that's gone throughout this presentation is all around stress reduction, and that is the thing that we are really keen to support. From an inclusive perspective, we want to make sure that the Surpass delivery is isn't adding any additional stress onto candidates at the point in which they're taking their exam. And we really want to kind of improve how we manage our accessibility through user testing so that we can reduce stress overall. And yeah, as you said, if anybody is interested in getting involved in any research, please do get in touch with
us. I don't think we can stress that enough, can we?
It's really important that you do get in touch if you do want more information about that. If you want to watch the full presentation, then go to surpass.com/webinars. This was also the first time that we used our new networking environment for webinars in earnest, and we're hoping to make more of it. We had a number of the delegates stick around afterwards for post-event conversations with Kat and Andy, and it was some really, really interesting work there. And actually, it's been a fascinating exercise because there's been so much interest from community members who want to take this research further. Either they've got a research pool themselves, or they can actually help with international languages, etc. So it's not just about English presentation. So go to surpass.com/webinars to watch more information on that. So just some final kind of news and information what's coming up. So events that's coming up. So don't forget, today is the deadline for the e-assessment awards submissions. I was talking to Karen, there's been loads of submissions, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't put yours in. If you've done some fantastic work, summative, formative, talent workplace, research, anything, go and have a look at the categories. There's 8 of them, and there's also the lifetime contribution. So if you know someone who's been making a substantial input to the assessment world and deserves recognition for that, then please do make sure you get that name across. Also, we have Innovations in Testing coming up on the 27th of April, and we have 3 presentations as part of that. So Kat and Andy will be doing a roundtable, extending out their conversation they've had about the Open Dyslexia Font and other research they've been doing, so please do check that out. Abby and Steve will be talking about ultimate candidate experience, and standard setting practices will be with Amanda and Chris. Other news as well, so save the date, Surpass Conference, 4th to the 8th of October, so please do check that out. Go to the conference.surpass.com if you want more information on that. But the idea at the moment is to have a virtual event over the course of that week. If social distancing measures allow in various different countries, we will try and have some physical event going on. So it might be some workshops that are done in person, and then we have the main conference presentations done as part of a virtual activity. So it's a kind of semi-hybrid model that we're looking at. Also, I was going to tell you about a rumor alert. So look out and keep, like this post, put your name down, so tell me more. There might be a happy hour coming in April for members of the wider testing community. We're hoping to bring you more news on that, so please do keep us posted on that. We'll keep you posted on that one. Community news then, other activities, other information that's been going on in the community. So let's just have a quick look at some of these posts. Very kindly, the Wine and Spirit Education Trust have been posting about St. Patrick's Day, and a bit of information there about whiskey. So if you're a bit of a whiskey enthusiast or connoisseur, then there's some information you'd like to find out. Some great quotes coming through. If you check out the NCFE feed, they've been talking to their community about their implementation of remote invigilation. There have been superb comments coming through from people and their positive experiences on that. So that's for functional skills, and I think there may be other qualifications as well, but it's worth checking that out. Jared Dyer has been talking about some research that's been taking place, some preliminary research. I think I've got a bit of a quote here for you, a bit more information. So about gamification in learning. So please do check that out. I'll share the post on that. What else we got? Cambridge Assessment. They've got some international test delivery, assessment delivery activities going on, so please do check them out. And also the Associated Learning Technology, they've published some survey information, annual survey relating to learning technology and how that's changed in the post-pandemic world. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching. I hope you're all safe and well. Stay safe. And I'm going to show you now a bit of a premiere, really, of a new video that we've put out around online proctoring. So stay safe, and I'll see you.
Recent global events have provided a catalyst for change with certification and licensure test sponsors. Our customers have been delighted with how well online proctoring works for their assessments, including those with ANSI and NCCA accredited testing programs. In close partnership with one of the largest providers of online proctoring services in the world, we have created the perfect solution for our certification and licensure customers who demand high volume as well as high security. We are confident that our Surpass online proctoring service gives you everything you need to succeed with online proctoring. Here's why. Our ability to provide an industry-leading 2-to-1 candidate-to-proctor ratio for live testing provides an unrivaled level of service to your candidates. And when used alongside our unique secure browser that fully locks down the candidate's computer during the assessment, you will have complete confidence that your tests are highly secure. Alternatively, for customers looking for the most cost-effective delivery model, we can provide a fully automated proctoring service. Any and all aberrant behavior is automatically detected and captured using sophisticated AI and machine learning technologies. If the candidate's testing environment is your security priority, our optional dual camera monitoring technology can also provide you with a unique multi-angle view. Whether you are moving to fully online proctored test or you'd like to combine online proctoring with test center delivery, we will help you make it a success. We're confident that whether your program is big or small, our Surpass online proctoring service is the right choice for you. Get in touch today to hear how your online proctored tests can be powered by Surpass.